If you're still wasting time manually drawing structure, you're missing the instant fix that changes everything. The key is seeing market structure to find an entry instantly on every chart. Let me prove this 5-second hack right now. Quick note before we dive in, this exact logic can be instantly automated. Stick with me and I'll show you the tool that does it in the next few seconds. An instant fix only works because it perfectly maps market structure logic. We're breaking down that logic now. But wait, before we break it down manually, you need to know this logic is instantly automated. The Structure Companion tool is the ultimate fix, identifying all the highs, lows, and imbalances across all time frames. You are getting the tool, the short training course, and the exclusive Discord support to make sure you use it perfectly. You're gaining a guaranteed system for structure analysis, not just software. This is your next step to trading with confidence and precision. Now listen close. That instant proof you just saw, the Structure Companion tool, is the reason. It takes everything you're about to learn manually and does it instantly across all time frames. If you know you need this guaranteed instant fix, the link is right below this video. Otherwise, let's look at how it works. Now this is the exciting part. You're going to learn the actual format and the logic of this structure, and then we're going to go through how using the tool is going to help you to find those trade entries. So I'm on the US dollar Swiss franc here. We're starting on a daily time frame. It is an area of price that I've actually picked because it's a trade that I took previously this year. I want to go through how you can apply the structure technique and use the indicator to help you to find those trades. So the first thing we look at is understanding how do we mark out this structure. So manually, let me just go through and show you this. When we identify price, creating a close up like this candle right here, this creates a valid low for me. So from that point, what we can actually do is mark out a low from here. Let me just turn the magnet on. We can find that. We can mark a low here as a potential low in the market. Now, for our potential high, we're looking for the same sequence. We're looking for where we saw the last close up. Now, I believe that is this candle right here. It just closes above. That means this becomes your valid high in the market. So now we have a valid high and a valid low. And we're looking back from this point, we're looking for the same thing from a low in the market. So there's our current low. I think it's this lowest point, maybe this low here as a break of structure. So we now have a valid break of structure in the market, a valid high and a valid low, which creates the current trading range. Now, if you're not quite sure how these are marked, don't worry, there'll be a video coming towards the end of this video which goes more into exactly how this works and is what is taught inside the 90-day profit trading system. So do keep watching to the end and you'll understand how we map this out manually. So this is the way the structure will be marked, understanding that close up on those candles. So we're looking at this potential move down the market and you can see the start of a potential pullback. If I just go up to a weekly time frame here, you can then see that the market has been quite bearish on a weekly. We created that pullback. So again, what we can actually see here is this is a valid low in the market on a weekly. This is a potential, without really looking, we do have a potential break here. This could be a break of structure here, or it could even be this low here in the market. And when we're looking at a current high, it's going to be this current high here in the market for a weekly trend. So you can see we're quite bearish here on the weekly. Dropping down to that daily, we're also bearish. So at the moment, we're looking for sells. But what I've already been looking for is a deeper pullback here on the weekly and potentially a deeper pullback here on a daily. And I'll show you why in a moment. As soon as I put that tool onto the chart, then you're going to see how we can use this to our advantage. So let's just actually turn the tool on. And you're going to see straight away what this is going to do is going to highlight all those levels. So what I can actually do, let me just turn it off again. And I'll remove these levels already marked. And I'll turn it back on so you can see this. This is instant clarity for you. You've instantly now seen that you've got your high, your last break of structure, also your previous breaks of structure behind price, and where your current low and high sits. Now it's also, which I haven't really gone through, it's also going to show you internal structure as well. That is understanding how the market moves within the higher swing, okay, being this is a swing move in the market, moves within that swing itself. Now, we're not worrying about the internal structure here today too much. I want you to understand how we look at using this tool and understanding market structure analysis here to find potential trades following different time frames, multiple time frames. Now, the same, if we pop up to a weekly time frame, okay, so we have this is a valid break of structure. I did say I wasn't sure where the valid break of structure is going to come from, but you can see how the tool quickly shows me the correct break of structure here. So now we have the breaker structure. We have the start of a potential internal high. This is our 50% retracement area. Now, if you understand about the areas of premium discount, that's what that's used for. And it's useful in this tool as well. So again, we did run above the 50% area here, and we could see continuation now to run for this low. So let's just see what happens. We're going to play this forward. Let's bring the speed down a bit. I'll play price forward and see what happens. So we can see that we've got this internal structure here, and we start to continue to push lower with internal structure. That tells me now, after the shift, continuation, we're likely to run for the week low. And just see if this is what actually happens. And we do. We push through the week low. You can see how the tool instantly updates your structure. It moves the new high here. We have a dashed line at the moment, so we're waiting for potential pullback. But this is where we're going to start looking at everything and put it all together. We've got a potential new breaker structure on a weekly as well. So we are bearish on these time frames. And what I can also mark out here is an area of supply. So let me just remove the magnet. We don't need this on now. So this is going to be my daily area of supply. And the reason you have your zones of supply and demand, these are the areas we want to see price come back to fill the last area of imbalance. Now, when it comes to imbalances, I will just quickly show you how the tool is going to help you with the imbalances as well. We can turn that on, and it's going to show you where your imbalances sit. You see the red and blue candles? That is where all the previous imbalances sit in the market. So not only does the tool help you with everything else, it's going to help you with understanding imbalances as well, and all that is inside that short course. So what we're looking for now is how do we use the multiple time frame of structure? How do we use the indicator here as well to understand when we're looking for a trade? Well, we're bearish here, and we want to see a pullback to come above our 50% area into an area of supply. Now, there's a few ways we can look to trade. We can look for an instant trade here. So we could basically look for a certificate entry off this area, and we just target the current week low. Now, we don't have a valid week low. So let's go forward and see if we create a valid week low. So you can see the market continues to go bearish. Now, when we get a valid low, we look for that close up to give us that valid low. So there we go. A valid low is now being confirmed on that close up. So this dashed line will now go to as soon as the next candle opens, not when the next candle's closed, when the next candle opens, when this one's closed, this will become a solid level. So we could look for an entry like this. Okay, so we could take an instant certificate entry off this area. Now, it's not a trade I personally would suggest doing, but it's one that you could look doing if you wish to take a certificate entry start. So if we just go forward one more candle, and you'll see that changes to the solid line, confirms it. We have our 50% level confirmed. We want to see price at least coming above this level. Okay, we'll come up above this level. We've got some areas of imbalances as well here left over, and we have our area of supply above. So we need to see price pulling back into these areas to find a potential trade. That doesn't mean we can't look for potential buys down here to run to the upside. That is something we absolutely can do, but I'm not talking about counter trend trades here. I'm talking about the continuation with the trend. So what we'll do now, we'll quickly pop up to the weekly, and we'll just confirm that breaker structure's occurred, which it has. Now, we haven't got a valid weekly low yet, and we're looking for the market pullback towards that 50% area on a weekly. Now, on a daily time frame, most probably that 50% is going to be around about that daily high, so we may not see that occur. So let's go forward with a few more candles. So as we see price starting to move, we see this pullback phase. This is where potential lower time frame, you'll be able to start looking for potential buys. Let's just drop down to a 4 hour so you can see what's happening on a 4 hour. Now, on a 4 hour time frame, we can now actually see where the 4 hours been bearish. Now, I'm going to show you how we can use the indicator to show us multiple time frame in a minute. So this is our swing move we know on a daily, because this is where we've got our area of supply. But the 4 hour is currently still bearish. Now, we are bullish on the internal structure, but we haven't actually shifted bullish yet. So let's just go forward with a few candles and see if we can break to the upside. So we can see we've now shifted bullish. That now means that we're expecting to see the pullback phase on this move. So we're looking for price to pull back into this area of bullish imbalance to continue to run higher here. So let me just see, and we do, we get a push down on that big candle, takes the low of the strong low. Now, it never closed it, so it closed back up and it held as a strong low here now because we broke to the upside. So that's a big sweep of the low to fully fill this bullish imbalance, and we look for the move higher. Now we go back to daily time frame. We can see at this stage, we're looking for this potential pullback. So we're looking for the market to pull back towards this zone here. Let me drag this across a bit more. So we're looking for a pullback into this area where we can look for this potential daily sell. But we can look to increase that risk to reward. And the way we'll do this is using the multiple timeframes with a lower time frame. So the idea here is we're going to look for price to continue up to this area. Then when we get into our 4 hour, when we get into this area of supply, we're going to drop to our 4 hour time frame where we're going to look for that shift out for price to continue to run towards this daily low. That's what the idea is here, to understand your multiple time frame. So if we go to our 4 hour time frame, and we're going to follow price from here. But before we do, let me just turn on the next key level. Now, this is the advantage of this tool. It's also going to show you your higher time frame structure, but you will need to add a second indicator for this. And you can now see the daily high, the daily low, and the last break of structure. So now you have all your information, all your analysis on the one time frame. So now we're looking for that continuation to this area. So let me just get rid of this. Let's continue to the upside. So we can see the market's run for this previous high, and now potentially we're shifting structure back bearish. And we shift back bearish. Now, there's something else you need to understand as well. These dashed lines, this is something that's going to help you to understand trend in the market. I'm not going to go through it too much. It's all inside the course of the companion tool, but it's going to help you to identify when we're in a good trend or where it's actually choppy in the market. So let's continue. We're starting to go bearish. You can see a nice bearish trend continue down. Now, this is something that we can see very often. The market pushes down lower towards those daily lows, those week lows, and then we can see a push to the upside first. We're not interested in taking a trade. We go back to daily at the moment. Okay, so we're not interested because we haven't come into our area we want to see a sell. We have just pushed above that 50%. So there's a very good chance we could see a run through this low. Currently, we're holding at that internal strong low. Back to the 4 hour time frame. Let's go forward. So you can see that we've got an internal break of structure to the upside. So we're now bullish on internal structure, but we need to see the market continue to run that strong high. So now we've gone to the upside and we see this dashed line. That tells me it's a new shift, a bullish shift to the upside. And we can start looking for potential pullbacks. And this could be the start of a new trend. And we continue to run to the upside. Let's see what happens. And we get a new break of structure. And now we're pushing towards this area of daily supply. So we've got everything in line. We can identify that this is our current daily swing mode to downside. We're looking for a pullback here to look to sell back down to this week low. That's what we were looking for, that daily time frame. Remember, with our single entry of set and forget. Now what we can actually look for is for a shift of structure on a 4 hour time frame to capture the entry. And if I just go back again to the daily, you'll see we've got this area set. Now we haven't been triggered yet. This is a 4 hour trade if we're looking to take this one. Now on a 4 hour time frame, we can potentially look to increase that risk to reward if we get a setup. So let's go forward again with price. And we're looking for, and there we have it. It's a very fast move here. We went bullish one more time into our area of supply on a daily, and then we shifted out bearish with a big bearish candle. What does that show you? It shows the sellers came in, and it also gives me now from this area a nice area of new supply created on a 4 hour time frame. Now again, there's ways we can look to increase risk to reward even further by going down to lower time frames, and we look for sweeps in the market and shifts. But all this is more inside the 90-day profit trading system. What I want to go through now is to show you how we can just look for that set and forget entry again. And what we can do, we can look for an entry to run off this area here and look for continuation to run first for our 4 hour week low, and then eventually look for movement down to the daily week low. So we haven't yet created a valid low here in the market. Let me just zoom into this area just to understand why we see these breaks of structures as the market moves higher. So when we have this break of structure, we look down, we look for the last close down, which is this candle that creates this low. Then we look for the close down, which is right here again. This creates your valid high. That is the difference when we look at a bullish move of the market to the bearish move. When we see the close down breaking this previous low, the last close up is here, which creates our high. Now, when we see a close up again here to the upside, it's going to create the valid low. And I'll go through this step by step so you can see exactly how this is going to work. So we go through one candle at a time. We look for the close up. We haven't had it yet. Now, this candle closes up. So at the close of this candle, the open of the next candle, we have a valid close up. That means this will turn into a solid line. We'll just do one more candle. So you can see it's now turned into a solid line. That means we can take this trade here, and our first target is going to be looking for this low to take risk off. So we're going to have over 2 hours on this trade, and then we're looking for a final target down here at the weekly low. Now, the reason this is nearly a 6-hour trade, or over 5.5. So the idea is we're looking to increase that risk reward, which we are. We're going from a 4 to nearly a 6R here, understanding this. And we're also reading price coming out of our higher time frame era. So now we have everything aligning. We're down on our weekly time frame. We have a bearish movement on our daily. We're pulled back into our daily supply. We've seen this structure bullish currently on the 4-hour, and we've seen a shift to the downside, leaving an area of supply from this nice big drop to downside. And that's where we're going to look to sell the market. Now, we can just look for that significant entry here, or there's ways we can go down to lower time frames and pinpoint an entry and look for risk rewards of 10 to 20R. Now, that's a different way of looking at it, but this is the way we're going to look at it right now, is understanding how you can take this significant entry off this reversal out of the higher time frame. You can see how the tool is going to help you to instantly see all this. Then, if we just remove everything off the chart, and yes, we've got these zones still, but without those, you just turn this back on. It's instantly going to show you your structure analysis here. So now we're going to let this play out. Let's see what happens. Let's just run this a bit faster as well. Let this run and we'll see if we get triggered in. So the market's coming down. We're looking for push up, and I believe we've been triggered in. So we've now been triggered in, and we got triggered into the supply. We've hit the first target, that week low, which is the first target. Why? Because that's the current trading range. We swept this high of the internal breaker structure, pushed into the supply, great area for liquidity to be taken, fully filled the imbalance left over here, and then we run down for the week low on the 4-hour. That means your first target's been hit, you're risk-free, you let this trade run. Next target is going to be the daily low. Now, the reason it's your daily low is because that's where we've got this current daily swing. Let's just play this forward again so you can see price is going to chop around a bit first before we're going to break this low. Very often you see this. Now we've broken down. Internal structure again pulls back up, sweeps this high, new break to downside. Now we've broken back higher. So this is where many people are going to start to panic because they see structure breaking to the upside. This is where this indicator is going to help you, because when we see the dashed line, it's just telling me it's the first break. And sometimes the first break can just be a manipulation and a sweep in the market. And that's what we get. We get a nice sweep internally coming out of this era of potential supply. So now we get a new breakdown again. So we're looking for the continuation, and we get that continuation. We get a pullback, looking for a sweep. We get another sweep of this high here on this candle, a nice outside bearish candle. We go in closer now so we can see what's going on. So we had a sweep of this high, a bearish outside candle, a pullback to fill the imbalance, and we're running for that week low on the 4-hour. And that is what you need to do when you're looking at trading. You need to understand where everything's going to move to. So we're looking for a break of the week low to continue for our final target being that daily, and straight down we go. Okay, so the daily has made a new break of structure just here, I believe. Let's move this across. Yeah, we have made a new break of structure. You can see this trade would have worked out as well. We wigged up into this area, fully filled the imbalance below the supply, and ran down nicely for the final target. So you can do this across higher time frames as well as lower time frames. So that's the structure companion tool. Your complete structure mapped automatically, validated across multiple time frames in seconds. Remember, when you get access, you are securing lifetime access to the indicator, the short training course, and exclusive Discord support. This isn't just a fix, it's a complete system for confident structure analysis. Don't waste another day manually drawing structure. The link to claim your full access is right below this video. If you want to go deeper into mastering this topic and building real consistency, watch this next video on market structure that uses the same process and system inside the 90-day profit trading system.